Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to another Patch Notes Shut the Fuck Up review and video. We're on patch 9.22, and as Riot says themselves here in the beginning, we're one patch away from preseason, which I thought this was going to be preseason with all the fucking changes they're implementing in here. So I was very scared this was going to take like 2 hours, and I have to wake up like early tomorrow, so I was a little scared, but luckily that isn't the case. But regardless, this is a very meaty patch because we have Senna in here. I'm so excited for fucking Senna, and I'm gonna give my opinions and whatnot. But first, news. Excuse me. I have played a shit ton of Earth, so I don't know how the state of the regular game is, but I know how Earth is, and Earth is crazy. But regardless of that, for my palate, I have some Mountain Dew, and then what is this? A Smart Ones Salisbury steak and mac and cheese, very shitty little dinner meal right next to me. That's like cooling off. But I literally just got out of the shower. I was naked about, how long have I been streaming? I was naked about 2 minutes ago, and now I'm clothed, and now I'm ready. So, let's get into it. If you're struggling to get gold like I am, let this also be a warning that you only have this last patch to get there. So, after this patch, we're on to preseason, baby. And then I'll probably play ranked again, even though ranked is so bad and my elo is so bad. Earth ends in 5 days. That's actually a little crazy. If you missed the announcement on the mid-patch updates, we're extending the duration of the game for one more day. So we'll have Senna by the time it comes out, which is good. But anyway, the new skins of this patch, we have the new True Damage skin line, which is in the same universe as KDA. Basically, the lore for this skin is KDA Akali was like, fuck KDA, and made her own band called True Damage, which is looking to recruit, I guess, sucky artists from the street that aren't recognized. So that's what she did. So she's getting another skin, unfortunately. Does she need it? No. Is she getting it? Yes. Does it look nice? I don't know. I didn't see it. True Damage Yasuo, he gets another skin. Does it look nice? Kind of. Does he need it? Absolutely not. But it's decent. True Damage Echo is the legendary for this patch, and I've got to say, this skin is one of the worst fucking legendaries I have seen. It has really good animations, but that should be the baseline for all legendaries. It doesn't come with a gimmick. Like, at least other legendaries come with a gimmick, but this one has no gimmick. It's just new skin, which is new voice lines, new animations, that's it, no gimmick. I'm like, wow, that's a little crazy. But yeah, his whole thing is he's an artist from like the projects or something, and he was like, he's a good up and coming artist. There you go. True Damage Senna, very good skin. Very excited for her. And Kiana, which is getting a Prestige Edition skin. And this Prestige Edition skin is different than all the other skins. Because it was designed by Louis V. Mr. Vuitton. Now, I guess he decided what she would wear. Not really the effects and stuff, but like what she would wear, and they did that. But generally, all these True Damage skins are pretty good. Senna is really good. Kiana's skin is actually really fucking good. But I don't really care for the Prestige Edition, but hey, we have Louis V in the league now. Who would have thought? So, end of ranked. Ranked's ending. Cool. Okay, Senna. So, wow! She's not gonna be in Earth! Wait, the patch comes out tomorrow, and she's gonna be here on the 10th. That's so... Wait, when is that? That's Sunday! Are you shitting me? I have to wait all the way till fucking Sunday, yo. Oh my god. This is some bullshit. But anyway, let me go over Senna's kit. Let me actually get, what can I get her kit? Oh, god. Of course, why don't they link to the fucking kit anymore, mate? What the hell is this? Alright, let me just go and surrender 20 and show you guys that. Here we go. Hold on, I'm getting it ready. Here we go. Senna the Redeemer. Okay, it doesn't show anything about her here. God fucking damn it. Oh my god, this is so stupid. Someone invited me too. Okay, well, I can't join that. Goodness. Where can I, like, get her fucking abilities? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna fucking get this. Okay, here it is. I found it. So, let's go over her abilities, right? Here. Ooh, production. So, I extremely like Senna. Now, Senna's whole thematic is she's a marksman support. Now, what does that mean, you may ask? Is she an ADC that is like a support, or is she a support that's like an ADC? Both. You can play her AD, although she won't output as much damage as an AD, and you can play her support, but she's like a damage support, basically. So she's the best of both worlds in my eyes. But anyway, the reason why I like her is because I think she's a little ridiculous, but she has obvious weaks and strengths just on paper alone. Again, I haven't played her. I haven't, like, done anything, like, you know, testing wise, but just from what I see and how I hypothesize, I think she's fucking OP. So, her passive is what I think makes her OP. She's the exact opposite of Callista. She's an AD that takes longer to wind up her basic, and if she auto attack moves, she cancels it. The exact opposite of Callista, where once you wind up for an auto, you're doing the auto no matter what. Her, it's really easy to cancel autos, but there's a reason for that. She's basically the support Jhin. She shares a lot of similarities with Jhin, and I'll tell you why. So, you know, this is a fucking terrible one. Hold on. Where is it? Here we go. This one will show you the values. Here we go. So, stats and abilities, right? If it would fucking load. Here we go. Her base attack range is 600. She has the same attack range as, who is it, Varus? I think Varus has 575 though. So she has greater attack range than Varus. This is really big. Her move speed 330, you know, all of her stats are regular. And you might notice she gains 0 AD per level. And she basically has a Thresh passive, right? So there's souls that spawn similar to Thresh from dead enemies. She can right click them to get a soul. And that soul will give her attack damage. Every soul gives her attack damage, while Thresh's souls just give him damage on Z and AP, which is shitey. But Senna is good. She gains attack damage from the souls. If you attack an enemy twice, if you hit them twice with any of your, like, abilities, autos, anything, which is really easy to do on this character, and, you know, you'll see why later with the Q. But if you hit any enemy, you automatically get a soul from them, and you deal 1 to 16% of their current health as bonus damage on whatever target you're already hitting. Or on top of any damage you're already doing, excuse me. That's crazy. That's a lot of poke. So she'll basically be better if, like, they just get to lane, they're full, you're against the healer, she does better, which is good. And each stack of mist grants 180, so she's infinitely scaling with attack damage. Every 20 stacks of mist grants 25 attack range. So she's infinitely scaling AD, infinitely scaling range, and she gets 15% crit every 20 stacks. So she can infinite stack attack damage, crit, range, and any excess crit she gets, because eventually she'll cap out, is converted to lifesteal. So she can basically have 4 stats that are uncapped. AD, which is insane. Range, which is insane. Lifesteal, which is insane. AD, range, lifesteal, and crit, which is, you know, capped at 100. But this is crazy. And on top of that, her auto, because it's so slow, it'll do 20% bonus damage. Basically what a Xayah W does. On hit, so it could, like, be affected by Jinso's. I don't know why you build Jinso's though. And it'll steal their move speed. Well, not steal, but you'll gain whatever their move speed is, 10 to 20%. This is crazy. This is one of the most overloaded passives I've seen. But I'm gonna tell you why I don't think she's that OP. She's very, like, strong under circumstance. But regardless, I've seen gameplay where Senna's get souls, and it is not hard for her to get souls, and she gets souls like out the wazoo if she's doing good. So late game, you'll have like 100, 725 range easily, and then you add the new rapid fire to that, which is getting buffed. I don't know if it's buffed yet in this patch. We'll see. But she can have like 900 range on an auto. That'll deal 20% more damage and crit you. However, her crits deal 35% less damage. So if you build IE, the regular crit will do a little under double the damage of what it should do. Which is still good, because you do 20% bonus damage anyway. So, it kind of makes up for it. This is crazy. This is actually crazy. Her passive is like similar to Jin's, though. She loses like crit damage. But, holy fuck. This is actually like insane. But yeah, her passive is so overloaded. What else? So that's basically the passive. Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. I'm so excited though. Infinitely scaling late game AD. Now, if that wasn't good enough, her Q is basically Lucian's Q. You need to, have a target to use it. Except it does damage and heals. And its attack range is increased by your range. It's basically like Tristana, where all her abilities scale off her range. Her passive's range. It's like that. She's basically the better Lucian. If Lucian, had more range and was infinitely scaling, this would be so good. She's the better fucking Lucian. But the problem is, I don't know if it's, a part of her passive or whatnot, but she doesn't gain that high attack speed, which, if she did, it would be crazy. But, basically, she can heal, and the damage on the Q isn't crazy, but she can heal, basic attacks reduce the cooldown, and it applies on-hit effects. What the fuck? And it has infinite range, technically. What the fuck? So, right now she still seems like an AD. She has a healing Q, but the heal is kind of wiener. And it heals her, which is crazy. So she has inlane sustain, lifesteal, and heal, and damage, and poke. Now, you may think, okay, she has all that. What else can she get, right? She has a fucking long-ass root. Her W is like a skill shot, which it looks a little hard to hit, I'm not gonna lie. But it deals really decent damage. And then it roots them, and any enemies around them, which is insane. If the enemy she puts it on dies, it automatically goes off. So if you do it on a minion and it kills the minion, everything around the minion is immediately rooted. And the scaling for the root is up to 2.25 seconds. That's a long-ass time. She's really good at catching people out late in the game. The only problem is this thing's range doesn't get increased, so you kind of have to be a little sneaky with it. But that doesn't matter because of the E. The E is crazy. Yo, this whole champion's nuts. The E basically makes it so she has Invis for up to 8 seconds late game, and she becomes a Wraith. A Wraith is a new thing where the enemy can't tell who you are. They might be able to see you, but they don't know who you are. And while you're in the mist, they don't know where you are either, besides Senna. Senna has, Senna's always in the middle. But allies can become Wraiths, gain movement speed, so if 3 teammates go into your fucking shit mist and come out, the enemy doesn't know who's who. But they know where they are if they're outside the mist. This is crazy. It makes her like Pike in that she could just get away. Even though you kind of know where she is, you could catch her out, but you can't target her. And you can't target Wraiths either. This is insane. She brings so much to the table. And what I honestly think is the weakest part of her whole kit, her R. It's global, which is okay. It does decent damage. It scales off AP and bonus AD, so again, infinitely scaling. Any allied champion that's hit by this gets a shield that's, kind of PP. It's whatever. But it does damage in the middle to enemies. This is crazy. This is just crazy. She doesn't have game-changing, fight-changing ultimate or, stuff. But she has a lot of catch-out, poke, and she's an annoyance. So basically why I think she's not that OP is because if you get on her, and you have a catch-out, you could just kill her. She's basically one of the greatest annoyances in this game, and if you let her go for too long, basically if the game goes past 30 minutes, you kind of just lose. But before that, I feel like she could get shut down pretty hard if she's not careful, because again, she is an AD. She's probably squishy. But I'm extremely extremely excited for this character, and I hope to main her. But anyway, how would I rate her? I would rate her. I would rate her like 9 out of 10. Creativity, gameplay, everything. If she turns out not being OP, I'm gonna be sad. But I'm excited. I'm really excited for her. And this apparently is not like the AD marksman we're getting later. We're gonna get another one, but I don't know how soon that's gonna be. So, moving on to actual champions I can hopefully talk about, even though I've barely played League. Ashe. I feel like Ashe sucks fucking cock. The auto attack reset on the Q that they added recently doesn't matter. It doesn't change her shitey ass early game. All she does early is poke. In a straight on like 2v2 fight, anyone with Ashe probably just loses unless the enemy just lets them like get poked down, lets themselves get poked. If you're versing an engage versus Ashe, you basically like win. Now Ashe's damage really ramps up late. I'm not gonna take that away from her. She has a really good late game if she's allowed to, activate her Q. But Ashe is basically the worst Sivir. Sivir, for some reason, I feel does more damage than Ashe until late game. But she's a support AD. I don't know. I don't think she's AP. And they're nerfing her. They're making the W cost 20 more mana. But you rush Essence anyway. So, yeah, this doesn't matter. Blitzcrank. So, I heard a lot of commotion about Blitzcrank. I've never seen him still, to this day, even after the fucking, 100 range buff on his Q, which hasn't been changed for 10 years. The fact that it was changed, I guess people thought he was OP and, wow, we have to nerf him now. So they're nerfing his Q damage by, a little early and a decent amount late. But does this change anything? No. Is Blitz meant to kill? No. He's meant to catch out, and he does that easier. So this change is actually fine to me. I don't think it's needed, but it doesn't change anything unless you're building full AP Blitz, and if you are, fuck you. Alright, Ivern. I've not really seen any Iverns. I've maybe seen one or two, and they didn't wow me, but that might have been a nerf. So, I mean, the 425 range that he gets, or is it 450? I don't even fucking know. Is good, but Ivern's just not a good jungler right now, because I feel like we're still, either early game oriented or the rest of his kit was just nerfed too much, because when he came out he was OP. He was very OP, and they nerfed him to all hell. So let's see what they're doing. Okay, these are just bug fixes, no one cares. Oh boy, here we go. So Kai'Sa, there's been a lot of uproar in this community. Oh god damn it, I clicked something I wasn't supposed to. Anyway, there's been a lot of uproar in the community with Kai'Sa and Xayah. Those two are the most played and best ADs in the game, and I'll tell you why. They are safe, and they do a lot of damage. Ezreal checks off one of those boxes. Kog'Maw checks off one of those boxes. They check off both of those boxes. They are not only safe, they do a lot of damage. Now, I remember I saw someone post that the problem with this game is that only safe... there's so many things that could kill an AD that it's really dangerous to go any other AD besides them. Because the other ADs do damage, don't get me wrong. But the problem is they'll just get popped. So these two ADs are the only ones that are being played because they can't get popped. So, again, my solution would be to buff the other ADs, because I think ADs are generally in a weak spot. But they're not going to do that. They're just going to nerf these two, because they've been played too much. So, Q missile damage after first hit decrease. So, non-minion multi-hit goes from 30 to 25. And Riot says they're hitting two birds with one stone. We're weakening Kai'Sa's late game isolated burst damage and bolstering her opponent's ability to push her away from the minion waves in lane. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Q does do good damage. Its damage isn't negligible. But 30 to 25, it's that's 5% per missile. But that's not a lot of damage, I don't feel. I mean, I think this is fine. I don't think this really changes anything. Maybe she'll do a slightly less amount of damage, but this isn't changing what the problem is with her, which is her survivability. And her mixed build that can never get nerfed, because if you nerf one, she just goes the other. AP, AD, and sometimes she mixes them. It doesn't even matter. She can do whatever because her kit is so varied. Whatever you nerf, if you nerf an item, she builds the other one. If you nerf her, unless you put her into the ground, she's still good. So it's like, they're basically stuck. But this character's new, so I hope she stays good. And I personally like her. So this is fine. I hope they don't touch her beyond this. They probably will. Callista, the worst fucking AD in the game, in my opinion. But actually, surprisingly, if you're a good Callista, you can actually do, like, work. But God, it's been so long since I've seen Callista, and she's so bad. So I already know we're getting nerfs. I don't even have to, or not nerfs, sorry. I already know we're getting buffs. I don't even have to look. But I'll look to see what it is. W mark duration and bonus damage on mark targets increased. So they're increasing technically all points of the game as long as the support hits them. And if the support stays with you. Bard is the worst support for Callista. It's so fucking hilarious. And see, they even said it. They even say it themselves. Riot's scared to do anything to Callista because when Callista's good, she's the best in the game. She can out-kite every AD, anyone. She's not too safe, but, like, if you can, like, insta-pop her, there's very little chance you'll kill her. And she does a lot of damage. It's really crazy. She was so good, but, again, she was so good, and the nature of her kit is if she's not good, she's bad. So it's like, I guess they're trying to find a middle ground, but I don't think they'll be able to do that without reworking her. The main problem with her is just one ability, the E. But that's, like, her whole gimmick. Of, like, she puts infinite spears in you and then rips them out of your cock. So it's like, you can't take that away because then you're not playing Callista. Well, I guess that and the fucking passive where you could just scoot around like an idiot, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Callista. She's fun, but what's fun isn't always what's good. But anyway, how much are they buffing it? 5 to... Oh my god. Wait, they're doubling it early. And late game, they're buffing it by 3. Once you get to late game, though, you don't really rely on the passive. But early game, 10% of targets max health if you and the support hit them. She has a lot of early game pressure now. We might actually just see her. If the nature of the game, after this patch, stays to be an early game oriented, like, meta, I honestly think we will see Callista. This is a crazy change. If you play Callista, and ironically what I just said Bard was bad for her, but if you play Callista Bard, if Bard lands a Q and you auto them, and Bard has Electrocute, you're basically killing them level 2. Like, no contest. This is actually a little crazy. But, again, the problem is, like, I don't know, Callista's just so weird. I have to play her more. Whenever I play her, I do extremely good on her, because she snowballs like fucking crazy. But... We'll see what happens. I think she's weak because the games don't last early enough and she's not strong enough early to take advantage. Even though they gave her E refund back, which I was like, wow. They gave that back and no one's playing her. I might try her out. I'm curious. I'm curious to see. But I won't be trying her out soon because Earth is leaving and I want to just play Earth. So anyway, Kale. Like I always say, I think Kale's pretty weak. Maybe the Kale mains disagree with me. Maybe they actually do good with her. But I feel like early game and mid game, unless you're like a Kale or League of Legends genius, trading god, play this game meticulously and perfectly like a Korean, you're not going to play Kale correctly. You're going to feed early. You're going to go into the mid game doing basically nothing. And then late game you might do something. So they're nerfing her, which is ironic, decreasing Kale's laning power, which I think is the weakest, so she's more vulnerable early, which I already think she is, so it takes a bit longer before she starts bullying people around. She doesn't do that. Maybe, again, I don't know if this is in high-low, but God, I feel like this is so off the mark. I don't agree with any of these. The base damage is going down by 10 early, and then 30 late, which again, they said they want to decrease her laning power, but they're nerfing her late game even more, which is like... Okay. Okay. I mean, it's not that bad because it's base damage. You get, damage from scaling. But still, what the fuck? What the fuck, Riot? W, it's going up by 10 mana. That's fine. Kale has mana issues, like, early. This doesn't really change that. She's still going to have mana issues. And they're not going to be, like, severely even more worse. It's probably the same. But I'm glad they only did this. Nothing else, please. Nothing else. Okay, basically with this change, Malphite, they don't want him one-shotting people, basically. They're sick and tired of people having fun in this game with Rock, and they're nerfing him. Do I think he needs a nerf? No. His kit is so simple, and the way to dodge his ult, or the way to, like, not have him be good is dodge the ult. Flash it, movement ability, anything, dodge the ult. It's really obvious when he does it. If it's not obvious, it's because he flashed. And even then, he might not land it if you have good reaction. So his whole thing of building AP relies on one stupid thing, which is his ult. And if he doesn't get that off, he dies and he's useless. And even tank Malphite is like a little whatever, but they don't want people having fun. So they're nerfing AP Malphite, and this just gives me more of a reason to tell Elijah you can't play it. So I like it, but I don't agree with it. Naughty Man. I haven't seen Naughty Man. They nerfed his Q, not by a lot, but they nerfed it after it was OP and he was being played as a mid laner. And then I never really saw him again except by people who main him. But do I think he's good? Yes. Do I think he's OP? Maybe he's a little on the strong side, honestly. Because, like, Nautilus is so tanky but does, like, a lot of damage, surprisingly. I think I might see a nerf. Let's see. Nautilus is too strong in all games, regardless of level. I don't know about that. But well, I think he's strong, but within reason, because he has to land shit to be strong, which, do ability right, get result, is, like, my philosophy, but I guess Riot doesn't like that. So, they're nerfing him. I don't agree with this. I think Nautilus was in a fine spot. We have to have some tanky supports that do a good bit of damage. Not more damage than necessarily, like, the poke supports, but Nautilus doesn't do that. If he gets on you, like, if he could catch you out and stay on you, he'll do a lot of burst damage in that one instance, but he doesn't have poke damage. So it's like, I don't know. I don't think this is warranted. How much is it? Wow, it's actually a lot. 150, 275, 400. So they're nerfing it by 50 across the board. Early game, you're going to feel it. Late game, it doesn't matter. I don't agree with this, though. Pantheon. I don't know what... Why the fuck do they keep touching him? He's good early, bad late. I mean, to me, he kind of still sucks early, too, but who cares? I hope we're going to see buffs, though, because I feel like he should be stronger. Q minion damage reduction increased. Wow. Execute threshold decreased. Wow. W increased dash speed from boost removed. Pantheon persists as an overly strong and banned champion. I don't know why. Probably because of the E. Especially in higher ranked games. Okay. We're making some changes to the parts of the kit that mostly impact players in those games. What? What? So they're making it harder for him to wave clear and harder for him to kill you if you're low. And then they're nerfing his W, which is like how fast he jumps on you. I don't understand this change. Is Pantheon really that much of an issue? I mean, yeah, he's annoying. He'll like do a CC. If it's after like 15 minutes, I feel like he'll do the CC and no damage. So it's like he's just an annoyance. He's basically a worse Scion to me that's more mobile. He's a worse Scion that's more mobile and does maybe a bit more damage. But eventually I think Scion just out-damages him too, but that's just me. I mean, if he's fed, he could probably be a fucking animal, especially with the nature of his Z, but again, I don't think Pantheon's an issue. He's annoying, he's not an issue. Okay, Sedge. We've just been seeing, like, non-stop buffs as far as I remember. Maybe a nerf here and there. But as far as I remember, non-stop buffs to Sedge. They want Sedge to be played? I think last time we found Sedge, though, she got nerfed. So maybe they're fixing something because she wasn't really played too much. I don't know. They want to see tanks in the jungle, though. Because why would you play a tank in the jungle? Tanks are boring. And tanks get fucked. That's something I've noticed. Tanks... If you build tanky, you live for like 2 extra seconds, then you just die. What's the point of being a tank besides engaging and dying? That's it. That's your job. I mean, maybe that's the job of tanks, but my idea of a tank is like a guy who's like harder to kill than just like 2 extra seconds. Of course, I am a pretty good AD, so maybe that's just me that kills them so fast. But anyway, I'm assuming to see buffs. And what are we getting? Base AD up by 2. Not that doesn't matter. Health regen growth. Rounded out. Okay, they're rounding out her stats. Decent increase, 0.5. I mean, does this matter on such... No, it doesn't. Q damage. And 242. Okay, late game it's actually going up a substantial bit, 40. And the AP ratio's increased. I don't know why you'd build AP on Sedge anyway, but there you go. Oh, thank you, Spotify. Thank you for the ad. From Anthem Healthcare, everyone. I'm not sponsored, but I have no clue if they provide good healthcare. Oh, thank you, Empire. Anyway, the E, bug fix. Okay, so basically Sedge just got buffed. Tiny buff, though, not crazy. Oh, God, they're still touching this one, too. I don't even understand, again, what they want to do with this guy. Do they want him to be OP, or do they not? Because they're definitely not finding a fucking middle ground, I'll tell you that. Honestly, I haven't seen Silas at all, so he probably sucks dick. And I haven't even seen him in pro play. I haven't watched a lot of pro play, though. I'm waiting for finals. But, as far as I could probably guess, probably buffs. Because they nerfed him in the ground. Base health regen and magic resist increased. Okay. Health regen growth decreased. Okay. So he regens more consistently, but not as much later. Which, who cares? Again, once you get to late game, you don't need health regen. Okay, and then the cost of the W went down. This doesn't matter. Okay, Silas is the same. Okay, this. So, like I said, Zaya's the other half of the stupid ADs. And they're nerfing her attack speed. Early, it's 5%. That's fine. Late game, it's 15%, which isn't that big of a deal, but, like, beyond this, I don't want them touching anything. Zaya, I don't think she's ever been, like, a bad AD. The only problem is her and Kaisa have 525 range, which is, like, you would think, oh, the ADs with, like, one of the lowest ranges shouldn't be that good, right? Wrong. Zaya gains 20%, at least, I think, 20%, extra damage on her autos when her W's active. And I was like, wait, that's just crazy. She does, like, 20% damage with autos for an AD. That doesn't have, like, a crit modifier, besides, like, a positive one. She doesn't have a negative crit modifier. So I'm like, you gain attack speed steroid and a 20% just increase to your autos, plus, like, a fucking big nuke burst ability, and safety, and catch out. I was like, okay, this kit's a little bit overloaded. Not as overloaded as Senna's, but a little overloaded. But, yeah, I mean, I agree she's a bit of a problem, but again, this isn't touching the problem. I mean, if you reduce her damage, she's realistically still going to do crazy amounts of damage, just doesn't really change anything. Same with Kaisa, it doesn't really change anything. I mean, it'll do a little bit less, but doesn't matter, it's not the issue. And that's what scares me, because that means they're probably going to nerf them again, because people are going to keep complaining. But that's okay, and the reason why is because... Is it in here? Bug fixes? Wow, no item changes. Okay, just champions. Okay, so next patch I'll explain why that's good. But basically it's because the changes to ADs and what they'll be building. And what I'll be building on ADs. But, wow, that's the patch. Okay, bug fixes, upcoming skins I talked about. Oh my god. And now that we're at the end, let me say something. We're in day 5 of No November. Yo, this shit is so hard. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can make it to the end, but god, it's gonna be a fucking challenge. Now that I've lost the ability to pleasure myself, I know what I've lost. God, I want it so bad. But anyway, with all these new skins coming out too, like, oh, you know there's gonna be pictures of that, of this, of that. And I can't even see them. But I'll have a lot to get back to once I make my triumphant return, so I'm happy. But yeah, No November, it's tolling. But anyway, this patch, a lot of really weird, useless changes. A lot of weird nerfs to people I didn't expect needed it. And not really any buffs that mattered to anyone. Just mainly nerfs and stupid changes. But we got Senna. So overall, I'll rate this a 7.5, mainly just because of Senna. Marc Merrills out of 10. Not a bad patch, just very stupid, but we got Senna. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed. That's gonna be it for me. I'm out of here. I can't wait for preseason though. That video is gonna take me so fucking long. Later.